Hi, everyone. Welcome to our One World Zohar, our energy connection to the spiritual energy and elevation available to us as we connect to our souls through these verses of the Zohar. This week's portion is Vayikra. In our edition of the Zohar, it's verse 14, and we're going to be at verse 338. The article is called I Acknowledge My Sin to You. Don't worry, it's going to be painless. Um, let's begin by inviting in the Kabbalistic lineage of the Rav and Karen Michael, Rabbi Shlag, Rabbi Brandwein, the Ariya Kodesh, the Ramchal, Rabbi Tarfon, Rav Mazulai, Rav Menachem Mendel Lovatepsk, Rav Kolonu Shapira Pia Setzan, Rav Shem Tov, Rav Shim Bar Chai, and all the students, Rav Mordechai of Chernobyl, One Soul, with Yosef Tzaddik, Joseph the Righteous in Shchen. Today is the second day of Aries of Nisan, as we march towards one of the most significant openings, windows in the cosmos, which will occur on the full moon of Aries, of Nisan, which is the Passover Seder, an opportunity for us to crush our ego in the sense of we are making a deeper connection to soul. I mean, anytime we have the opportunity to do that, it assists us in aligning with our soul's purpose. And so this is a very powerful week for that. These first, I should say, the first 12 days are super powerful, but the 15th is also one of the most powerful evenings of the year. And there's a lot of, I'll say, customs associated with that, but I don't look at them as a Kabbalist. I don't look at them as customs. I look at them as opportunities for connecting to my soul and removing my blockages and removing my negativity. It's not a time to get together and just tell old war stories, how we beat the Egyptians and split the Red Sea and look how great we are. This is not what it's about. As we often point out, as our teachers point out all the time, to really understand the significance of events on our calendar is to understand their present moment relevance. And without connecting to the present moment relevance, we're truly not really connecting to the inner essence. And it's all about the inner essence. We're living in 1%. That's what we're experiencing. Our senses are not windows to the world, they're filters to the world. And they're good filters. They filter out 99%. And we have ourselves convinced that it's 100%. No, it's like 1%. So much of what we do and the work we do is to go deeper, is go to the inner essence of what's available. The first 12 days of Nisan represent seed level for each of the 12 months of the year. So yesterday, starting with Nisan. So yesterday was the first day of the year from a Kabbalistic perspective, also from an astrological perspective. And so we had yesterday was the opportunity to connect to the seed level for the year and also the seed level for the first month. And today, as the second day of Nisan, is the opportunity to connect to the second month, which is coming up, a month from now. And that's the month of Taurus, ER. And so today is seed level for that month. Now there'll also be seed level for the new moon when that occurs, but we have an opportunity right now in each of the first 12 days to connect to the seed level of each of the 12 months that follow. So it's an incredibly, incredibly powerful time. And I just want to share with you some tips for today, uh, the month of Taurus. Listen to others. Well, for sure, avoid being comfortable. If it's uncomfortable, do it. And that's the things with Taurans. They try to stay in their comfort zone. I mean, we all do. It's an whole aspect of our nature too, because we all have aspects of each of the astrological signs, each of the months. We all have them. It's just there's a one that's dominant. Those are the stars under which we're born. But again, Taurans try and stay in their comfort zone. So today is an opportunity to get out of your comfort zone. Well, how do I do that? Well, think about what's uncomfortable. For me, it was hitting the snooze button. I usually don't do that. Listen to others, embrace discomfort, actively share with others, and transform complacency to movement. So this is really an opportunity for action today. Um, okay. As we connect to these verses with the help of the Kabbalistic lineage I just mentioned, and also insights into the energy of today, let's understand that by connecting to these verses, we are in the upper realm. And in the upper realm, that's the realm of fulfillment. Any lack is available. It's like you're walking through the supermarket, and it's on the shelves. Just grab it. So we want to start off with grabbing the energy of healing. For everyone we know who needs healing, I'm going to scan my list of people I'm praying for healing for. And also, I want all of you to think anyone in your life who needs energy of healing. Now's a opening in the cosmos to connect to that energy of healing. We also want to connect to the energy of assistance to those souls that we know are in the first 12 months of their elevation of leaving the physical realm. Ganessa bat Abraham, um, Yehuda ben Abraham, Wendy bet Stanford. So I have my list of those souls also that I'm consciously now sending energy of comfort and assistance and elevation, Sarbat Abraham, on their journey. Okay. With that, let's also connect to the energy of Ahavat Chinam, unconditional love for everyone in the world. That's something we have inside. We want to connect to that. We want to connect to ending the wars and conflicts in our world. We want to connect to protection for all those innocents that are in harm's way, removal of protection from evil eye and evil speech, and removal of chaos and negativity from our world. Okay, verse 338. Rivi Chia v'Ribi Yossi hava azle be'orcha ad dahavo azle. Am Rabbi Yossi l'Rabbi Chia nishtadel b'milei de'oraita b'milei de'atik yamin. Petach Ribi Chia ve'amar chatati odi acha v'gomer mikan olifna l'chol barnash dimechase chetoe v'la meforash lon kamimal kakadisha v'idba alayu rachamei la yahavin lei Lemiftach pitcha dit shuva. Begin the ihu de mechase mine. The ihu parishlon kame kuchabrichu. Kuchabrichu chayes ale vid gabrun rachame al dina. Maria, why don't you start with 338?
Okay. I think somebody's asking what book are we?
Oh, we are on, sorry. We're in the 14th volume, the portion of Vayikra, page 209, but it's paragraph, might be easier, 338. Okay.
Article 50, I acknowledge my sin to you.
Let's skip right to the
verse?
Yeah, to the verse.
Rabbi
Yeah, it's tricky. You have that ch sound down?
Yeah. And Rabbi
There you go. That's good.
and Rabbi Yoshi were walking along the road.
Okay, so what do we, it seems like once upon a time, two rabbis, two students of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai went for a walk. Now, the Zohar is not going to just tell us people are going for a walk. What's the spiritual significance of that? And even if they are going for a walk, this is in the spiritual realm. So what does it mean in the spiritual realm when the Zohar tells us you're going for a walk? It means they're on a spiritual journey. Well, do we need to know it's on a road? Literally, ba'orcha. Why do we need to know that it's on a road? Because it's all of our journeys are taking place on road. It's a journey. It's literally a journey. And how do you take a journey? I'm sorry, Maria?
That's what we're doing right now.
That's right. We're on a journey with them. And how do you take a journey? You put one foot in front of the other. And that's what they're doing, and that's what we're doing. We are on this journey with them. That's a great idea. No, it's not an idea. We're literally on the journey with them. What do you mean we're on a journey with them? This took place 2,000 years ago. Au contraire, it's happening right now. It's in the spiritual realm. There is no time in the spiritual realm. Did they really take a journey? Yeah, for all time. I realize that this conflicts with our concept of the reality where you're, I just took a ride in my car. I went grocery shopping. Is this the same? Maybe. I don't know. But this is greater. This is significant. It's in the Zohar. It's a spiritual journey. There is no time. We're doing this journey with them. We're on why the road? It's the path. When you're on the path, there's all kind of perks. You get energy protection, you get blessings, you have the ability to see the decisions you need to make. You need to see where you need to go, you need to see what you need to avoid. That's the spiritual journey. That's where we want to be. That's where we are. It's not just a journey, it's not just a hike in the woods. What about when I'm off the path? That's why there's literally in spiritual circles, Kabbalistic circles, you're either on the derech, the road, or you're off the derech. No judgment. Free will. You're either on the derech, on the road, or off the road. What's the matter with off-road? I mean, nothing can be a lot of fun, but that's not what we're talking on the spiritual journey. What's the matter with off-road? You don't have those protections. You don't have the spiritual vision, the spiritual hearing, the spiritual sense of what's going on. You don't have your intuition. You don't have any of that. You're free to do it. Knock your socks off. Kol hakavod. Take an off-road journey. But it has consequences. So what the first thing we're getting, as simple as it sounds, it looks like a throwaway line. It's the furthest thing from a throwaway line. The first thing we get, the first opportunity we get is to align ourselves with Rabbi Tzchi and Rabbi Yossi. They are on a spiritual journey. They are on the derech. They're on the path. We also want to be on the path. We want to be aligned with the light. Being on the path means I'm aligned with the light. And I'm doing the things that I need to do to be in that alignment. I'm using the tools that assist me. And where is that path? Where is it? It's delineated by the Zohar and the tools that we have. Knowing what the second day of Aries is about is a tool. Knowing that we're marching towards the night of Passover, which is a tool. And there's more tools then. There's the matzah, there's the bitter herbs, there's all kinds of stuff. There's 4 cups of wine. It's not just a feast. It's using tools that are physical, that assist us in our spiritual growth. I mean, if you want to treat it like Thanksgiving, by all means, let's just get together with family, drink some wine, tell some stories. It's great. I mean, it really is great. I mean, I spent most of my life doing that. I had a sense there was something more going on. I really didn't know what it was. We're here to dive into what it really stands for. What is the internal essence, not only of the second day of Aries, but what's the internal essence of the holiday of Passover and the tools that are there. It's not about my grandmother's gefilte fish recipe. It's not about tradition. Who do you suppose is casting it as tradition? The Satan, the opponent. The opponent doesn't want us connecting to the inner essence. The opponent doesn't want us to have insight into our lives. The opponent doesn't want us to have alignment with our soul's purpose. The opponent's trying to take our light. And when the opponent knocks us off the derech, off the path, the Satan gets our light that otherwise would have been coming to us. No harm, no foul. Well, really, I don't know about that. There's consequences. That's all. There's positive consequences and negative consequences. Not good, not bad. It's just like, what kind of life do you want? I want a life with this little chaos. I want to remove all chaos, frankly. This is what we're here for, not only to remove the chaos in our lives, but and in the lives of those who are near and dear, but to remove chaos and negativity from the whole world. And the more aligned I am with the journey, with the path, with being on that derech, the more consciousness I have of my desire to receive for the sake of sharing, of understanding I'm never victimized. Everything's happening, it's happening for me. It's happening for me to push me onto that path. The more I understand, the more blessings I can channel for the world. Okay. Let's see what's in store for us in the second verse.
Okay. While they were walking, Rabbi Yoshi said to Rabbi Chia, let us study the words of the Torah.
I'm sure what it was is like, Rabbi Yossi was like a little bored, like looking around this journey, like, what am I gonna do? What are we gonna talk about? That's not what it was. We know because we actually read a Zohar earlier this week on the topic. We know that this isn't, they decide to open a book of Shakespeare or a book of, poetry and just like share some neat thoughts and rhymes. That's not what it was about. It's about connecting to the blueprint of a reality. It's about transforming our interaction with physicality into our interaction with the spiritual realm. When we say Torah, we mean the spiritual realm. And how do we connect with it? Through the letters, the holy writings that are channeling that energy from the upper realm. So it reads like, let's read some words of Torah. Let's have a conversation about something. No, let's open up the channels to the upper realm and bring that energy of perfection, of the flawless universe into our world. I can't do that all the time. I got to go grocery shopping. Then groceries aren't going to show up on their own unless I order them through a delivery service. But even then, I still have to do things to interact with the physical realm. But when I have an opportunity, and I should carve out opportunities, I need to also do my spiritual work. We're doing that right now, and we're doing it with Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Chia. So they're going to open up a conversation, which essentially is going to open up the universes. And what in particular will they be connecting to? Let's see.
The words of Atik Yomin, the ancient of days.
Well, again, it sounds like we're going into history. We're getting a history lesson here. No, Atik Yomin is an aspect of Keter. It's the highest point that we can connect to. So second opportunity, or third, I don't even know, I lost count, is this opportunity to connect to an aspect of Keter known as Atik Yomin. That's what it's called. Do I know what it is? Can I explain what it is? I know where it is. I don't know what it is. Do I need to? No, you don't. We're limited. We're feeble-minded. Our consciousness will only get us so far. If I tell you that we had a conversation yesterday, like, the sun is the center of our universe, right? No. What do you mean, no? Everything revolves around the sun. Look, if space goes out in infinity in all directions, then wherever you are is the center of the universe. It's a simple math problem. That's all. So when the sages said the earth was the center of the universe, and then science came along and said, well, that's ridiculous. Scientists, they're so smart, they do studies, gravity, everything else, speed, light, whatever, the space-time continuum. I mean, a lot of stuff's very accurate. I'm not dismissing it. But when it comes to the center of the universe, your consciousness is the center of the universe for you. So we don't need to understand. That's a hard idea to wrap your head around when you're living in a physical world and confronted by physicality all the time and serious decisions you got to make. When am I going to the dentist? I mean, we have to make decisions all the time. We have to manage the physical realm, but we're elevating everything we do in physicality by seeing the blessings that we have in our life, by seeing them as blessings, by connecting to the eternal energy of everything and everybody. We're connecting to the limitlessness of everything we come in contact with, and that elevates everything. So another opportunity for us is to understand, I don't have to understand Atik Yomin. I just need to know I'm connecting with the elevated, flawless universe. Let's continue.
Rabbi Riyad opened the discussion saying, I acknowledge my sin to you.
And that's from Psalms chapter 32, verse 5, written by King David. So as we've discussed before, the significance of Psalms, and there's a whole Zohar on this, which I knew the significance, but I had never studied the Zohar on this. There's a whole Zohar that tells us that King David connected to the elevated aspects of Malchut, our realm, the most elevated aspects of Malchut, and infused Psalms with that energy. He wrote 150 of them. And the way the Zohar explains it is it's like this energy of melodies. Well, maybe I'm saying it's melodies. I don't know exactly. Well, they are kind of melodies, but not melodies in the traditional sense of like a song. I mean, they are songs, but they're songs of praise of the Creator. So we think that, I mean, if I was sitting in, in a university somewhere and we were studying Psalms, these were written by King David and others, they would say. That's what the scholars would say, but that's not accurate. Because yes, King David wrote them, but really what he did is he channeled them. They're already there. He can only grab 150. How many are there? Unlimited. He grabbed 150 and wrote them down. He channeled that. And so when we connect to Psalms, that's what we're connecting to. It's the removal of chaos within Malchut. And so the world over, multiple religions, multiple cultures, they study Psalms. They may not know why. The Zohar is very clear on that. This is King David channeling the energy available to us in the removal of chaos within Malchut. Now, we study the Zohar because the Zohar connects us to Binah, the flawless universe. It's, I'm going to say higher, but again, this idea of height and space, there is no time and motion. Space-time continuum is only in physicality. It's not in the upper realm, but it's a higher energy. So, but that's what we're connecting to. And that's what they decide they're going to study. They're going to look at this verse and what does it say? I acknowledge my sin to you. That's what King David said. Did King David ever sin? I mean, we know there's stories. He did some things that he wasn't proud of. And here he's acknowledging it. So another takeaway for us, just from the power of this verse, is the importance of acknowledging when I do something that's off the path. I got to own it. When I'm insensitive to someone, I need to own it. When I don't respect someone's time, I need to own it. I'm not going to say to someone, I'm sorry, I'm late. You know how it is. No, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I wasted your time. I mean, I don't know if you're going to say I'm sorry I wasted your time, but I'm sorry I kept you waiting, but you did waste their time. I mean, simple stuff. It's like, I need to own it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, but we want to acknowledge it because that's how we grow. Rav Berg used the example of you step on someone's foot and you say, I'm sorry. Their foot's still hurting. I mean, you can't take the pain away. Their foot still hurts. It's not about that. It is about that. I do feel sorry I stepped on your foot. I do feel sorry your foot's hurting, but I can't take the pain away. All I can do is take responsibility. It's about me at that point because the pain already happened. It's really about me. I need to own my stuff. We're going to do it. You're in the physical realm. You're working on 1% information. You're going to show up short of the mark. And that's what a sin is. It's off the mark. It's off the derech. It's off the trajectory of being in line with the light of the Creator. That's all. So make a big deal of it. I mean, some cultures and religions make a big deal out of sin. Oh my God, you're going to hell. This is not what it is on the Kabbalistic path. You're here, you're going to fall off the path. You're going to miss the mark. So King David is acknowledging that. So huge opportunity for us to acknowledge we're not perfect and we make mistakes all the time. I can't take the pain away from the foot I stepped on. I can't acknowledge that I took a misstep on the journey. So huge power in doing that. The other thing that we want to think about in this context is that stop blaming ourselves for the things that we do that we label as bad. Who is putting the bad label on it? The Satan, again, making you feel guilty for what you did. It's among the most disempowering human emotions there is, guilt. Like that is not helping us align with our soul's purpose. It's actually taking us in the other direction. Literally. It's taking us away from where we need to be, which is constantly working on removing my blockages and removing my negativity and showing up as a more empathetic and more understanding and giving people the benefit of the doubt, all kinds of things. Not looking for recognition in what I do, not looking for apologies, not expecting things from people. I mean, I've heard Michael Berg say, if you're disappointed in the way people show up, I mean, they're showing you who they are. So, like, don't have expectations and you won't be disappointed. I realize how easy it is to say that, but that's really where we want our consciousness to be, because I don't want to give it energy. I'm giving it a life. When someone disappoints and shows up in a, not the way I wish they had, if I'm hanging on to that, I'm dragging it along with me. It's extra baggage. I'm giving it energy. So all these things, just acknowledging it, and that this the power of King David acknowledging it, one of the most elevated souls that ever walked. What made him so elevated? It was one of those things. He acknowledged stuff. Let's continue.
From this, I learned that a man who hides his sins and does not confess them before the Holy King to ask for mercy on them cannot open the gate of penitence because he conceals from him.
It's a funny thing. Is he really concealing it? Because doesn't the Creator know everything? Because it's a capital H. So you think that he's concealing it from the Creator. I would argue that's somewhat of a anthropomorphism, because we can't hide from the Creator. We might think we are. So it's helpful in understanding how we show up. And this is the power of acknowledging when we show up short, when we are off the mark, which is what we refer to as a sin. Like, I need to acknowledge that. When I tell myself it's no big deal, I mean, as long as I own it, maybe it isn't the big deal. If I don't acknowledge it, I can't get mercy. Now, the way this verse works, where do you think that mercy is coming from? It's coming from the light. It's coming from the Creator. And so when I acknowledge, wish I had done it differently, I'm sorry it worked out that way, I'm automatically opening the gate of penitence. Pitcha di tshuva, lemiftach pitcha di tshuva. That's the Aramaic. I'm opening the gate of tshuva. And what's tshuva? Tashuv K, returning to my soul. I'm aligning myself with my soul's purpose. Peter's appropriately pointing out in the chat that at the beginning of the Ari's prayer for reading the Zohar, the Ari, Rav Isaac Luria, one of the greatest Kabbalists to ever live, certainly the greatest Kabbalist of the past 500 years, it's like please forgive me for my sins every time. What it represents is an opportunity to return to my humble self. That's what this is really all about. It's living a life with humility. I'm going to make mistakes. I just got to own them. We're not perfect. We're human. And by definition, the physical aspect of who we are comes with a desire to receive the self. It's like I'm worried about me. That's why I don't want to acknowledge it. Maybe one of the things we can do on this second day, which corresponds to the month of ER of Taurus, getting out of my comfort zone, is stop lying to myself. That's uncomfortable, acknowledging that we do that. It's a huge opportunity. So we're not just learning a very useful tool. When we connect to this verse, we're actually opening up the gates to tshuva, to removal of my negativity, to the process of infusing that energy with mercy. And again, it's like it goes right back to our three-column system, Kabbalistically. It's chesed, gevurah, tiferet. Mercy, judgment, and balance. It's coming to balance. Anyone know what today is as the in the solar system? There's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night today. It's one of the two times a year where the day and night, it's the solstice, I think they call it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's the,
I heard of it. The
yeah, the
equinox.
equinox, right. It's a day of energetic balance in the world. It's a hugely important opening energetically in the cosmos. It's a huge inflection point for us in terms of where we're going from here. But it's coming from a place of balance. It's like today is an amazing opportunity to align with that energy of balance. That's what the three-column system is. And when we align with the three-column system, when we bring mercy and judgment, chesed and gvura, into balance with tiferet, that is another opening into the cosmos. So there are several openings for us today. There is this balance energetically in the world. There is the fact that it's the second day of the month, of the first month of the year, and there's us connecting to Zohar at a very significant time. It's just multiple openings, and so it's multiple opportunities for us to open channels of blessings for the world, receiving for the sake of sharing. That's where my balance comes from, and that's when I'm receiving for the sake of sharing. I am just a channel. Again, there's those three of the five levels of soul. There's nefesh, ruach, and neshama. At the level of nefesh, why is this happening to me? I'm in victim consciousness. It's a very low vibrational frequency. When I elevate from nefesh to ruach, I'm now understanding it's all happening for me. I look at the world totally differently. Everything's happening to help me on my journey. And when I can get to that level of vibrational frequency, I want to move from there to just understand I'm a channel. Not only is everything happening for me, but ultimately I'm just channeling light into the world. And when you can show up that way, your vibrational frequency, the energy you're bringing into a room is different. It's not just this theory of I'm bringing blessings in. Your energy is different. You're aligned with the light. Maria, did you want to say something?
Well, yeah, when I'm listening to what you're saying and talking about this penitent state that we get before, coming to this connection with the creator. Reading this synopsis also bring a fragmented sentence that says, even more so if he cries, confession of sins causes mercy to overpower judgment and glorify God. Why, if I'm opening myself to confession and that level of repentance, right? Why does the cry has to be so important as well?
It's a physical manifestation of the depth of your feelings.
Oh, this is more on the fist. Okay.
Of connects of yeah, when you cry,
So release.
you're going deep.
Yeah.
It's like, how deeply do you feel that? Especially when you're connecting. There's one of the things that teachers teach is like when you're doing something of spiritual nature and like tears are welling up in your eyes, you're going deep. You're opening up these gates in the biggest way. You're connecting to the real depth of humility.
Got it.
You're really showing up you're connecting to soul. It's a direct connection with soul. I don't mean like crying over spilt milk. I don't mean I'm crying. I'm just drawn to such a deep level of humility and feeling and asking the Creator for help that it's just open, all the doors open. There's a story about, um, I want to say it was the Baal Shem Tov, one of the greatest Kabbalists, the founder of the Hasidic movement worldwide. All the Hasidic sects come from the Baal Shem Tov. Everything goes back to him. And that's like 300 years ago, if I have my math right, 300 years ago. And there's a story, someone came to the Baal Shem Tov to ask for a blessing. He had a child that was ill and was dying. And his last thing he did was he was to come to the greatest sage around, and that was the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov meditated on it and prayed on it. And he came back to the guy and he said, I'm sorry, the doors of blessings are closed in this situation. There's nothing I can do. So the gentleman thanked the Baal Shem Tov for his time and left. And then the guy's on his horse, in theory. He's returning home. And all of a sudden he hears, presumably, Baal Shem Tov in his horse-drawn wagon behind him. And he catches up. And the Baal Shem Tov says, well, I can't get those doors of healing and mercy open. The least I can do is cry with you. And so with that, they both get down, they sit down on the curb and they cry together. And that was enough to open up the gates of healing and the gates of mercy and get the healing that was needed. So I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm glad you grabbed that verse from the synopsis, whatever, thinking about it. But that's just an indication of how deep our ability to connect to soul is. It's like when you are moved to tears, you're making a connection with soul. And it's just like, immensely humble. Okay, let's continue.
If he uncovers them before the Holy One, blessed be he takes pity on him and mercy overcomes judgment.
So again, in this section, whatever is going on in your life, whatever challenges are going on in your life, challenges of the people around you, challenges in the world, our ability to acknowledge what we're doing, the ways in which we're lying to ourselves, the way in which we're not being open, the conversations that we have with the Creator. The more grounded we are in that way, the more soulful we are in that way, the more open and vulnerable and humble we are. That is what's needed for us to open up the gates. And these are like, it's the proverbial gate. Is it really? It is a gate. I mean, when you see something you didn't see before, that's a blessing. It's like all of a sudden something was covered up and it's uncovered before me. That doesn't just happen in happenstance. It happens because I'm doing my work. It happens because I'm removing my blinders. I'm removing my blinders. So we're running out of time. So I just want to say that in this context, tremendous opportunities for us in this study of understanding what it means to be on a journey, understanding that we all are on a journey, understanding that the sages that we look at as historical figures are still here for us. They're still on that journey. They're still on that path. And they're on that path to assist us in our path. And what does it mean to be on a path? It's the GPS to your soul. The tools that we have are what delineates being on the path or off the path. The consciousness that we have is what delineates being on the path or off the path. Aligning ourselves with these sages who are clearly on the path. Well, this is why we set our consciousness at the beginning of our study every time, inviting in those sages, because we want their assistance in not only understanding, but in aligning ourselves with their journey, with the journey that we want to be on, which is aligned with the light aligned with understanding the tools, aligned with where it is we really want to have our consciousness. So the verse, I acknowledge my sin to you, this verse from King David is a huge opportunity for us to do the work we need to do to remove our ego. And this is the month in which we do that. And remember, if you want a different life, you got to show up as differently. And it doesn't just mean changing your clothes or whatever. It's not a matter of just showing up differently physically. It's a matter of showing up differently in my consciousness, in what limited mindsets I have, seeing those limited mindsets, seeing the limitless aspect of everything that is in our world. And ultimately, aligning ourselves with the light of the Creator and becoming greater channels for the light of the Creator in our world, using our desire to receive as a desire to receive for the sake of sharing. Okay, we're out of time. Thanks for reading, Maria. Thank you all for joining us. Love you all. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, everyone. Have a good week.
You too.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.